Every one of these people, you develop a relationship with them, and they must have the heart of a teacher.
Our best income year between my husband and I was about 2 years ago, and that was $220,000.
Run 3 different websites, and they sell different merchandise.
I know what you're doing. I just never heard anybody pull this off at the volume you're pulling it off. And you let it grow, and you give it, and you invest it, and you enjoy a tiny percentage of it. I'm going to have to read that. I like the thesis of it already. That sounds great. The rational optimist. It fits almost with the whole discussion we're having this hour. So I have the ability to make $50,000 a month. You know, as soon as you're 18 years old, you can go do whatever you want to do, right?
Number 4, 19-year-old billionaire. Gerard is about to inherit $2 billion from his family barn. His grandfather passed away, and now the estate is being sold, and this young man is set to inherit the earnings. Ramsey correctly notices that this young man is a little worried about what he is going to do with all this money, and he says it is completely the right attitude about it. Ramsey recommends him to read more and understand different things before he starts investing, but also to surround himself with trustworthy financial advisors and build up a whole board of directors. After all, financial decisions can be emotionally charged.
We're talking with Gerard in Springfield, Illinois, 19 years old. His grandfather just passed away. The family farm is going to be sold. Just keep living your life like a 19-year-old and think about investing. And so I would recommend that you build a personal board of directors, maybe enjoying a tiny amount of the money, but a very tiny amount. And he'll be receiving about $2 million, and he's wanting to know, I never had any more than $3,000, what to do with that. Every one of these people, you develop a relationship with them, and they must have the heart of a teacher. Wisdom in your voice in that this money scares you a little bit.
And personal biases can cloud judgment. Advisors offer an objective perspective, free from emotional attachments, and can provide unbiased advice based on data, analysis, and experience. They can help individuals make rational decisions and avoid common pitfalls driven by emotions or cognitive biases, which is more dangerous for such a young person. Most of the time, young adults have not considered long-term financial goals, and the sudden influx of money like this one Gerard just got can very likely lead to a lack of foresight or impulse spending without considering future needs. The biggest piece of advice Ramsey has for Gerard is to make sure he doesn't start spending all his money without thinking. In fact, he tells him to only spend a very minimal amount, because if he lets himself indulge too much, then he will eventually end up with nothing, because that's just how this game works.
And that means that you're going to have to understand things more in the coming years, thread on a sweater, and you're going to unravel the whole thing. The rest of your life in anything you do not understand. Spending will be your enemy. So you need to be on a budget, you need to be working and have a career. You keep it very, very, very simple. Go-to person for real estate, your go-to person for a tax question, and you let it grow, and you give it, and you invest it, and you enjoy a tiny percentage of it. Financial advisor, a tax advisor, a real estate person. In the multitude of counsel, there is wisdom.
Number 3, insane net worth. Rachel is only 35 years old and has a net worth of around $2.8 billion.
Our net worth is right around 2.7, 2.8.
Okay, cool. And break that down for me. How's that invested?
Our best income year between my husband and I was about 2 years ago, and that was $220,000, 1.8 in equity in real estate.
Okay, very good. Excellent. How old are you?
35, probably 3.8.
Okay.
And my husband's probably 3.3, 3.4, I would guess.
This is an absolutely insane amount, especially considering how young she is. She and her husband inherited about $386,000 from her grandfather, but they were millionaires even before they got this sum. Rachel and her husband are self-employed. Her husband has his own civil engineering firm, and she is a mechanical contractor. They do plumbing and heating for different buildings. Their degrees complement each other well, and they have managed to do quite well together, truly the perfect couple. Ramsey starts asking more questions and asks if they borrowed any money to make this wealth, and surprisingly, it turns out they only had to take some money for one mortgage, so considering that they have managed to do quite well for themselves. Rachel even says that it is possible for others to earn a few million by the time they are 40, which would make for a very comfortable life in the long run. The advice she has for people listening is to know exactly where the money is going, as well as keeping track of what your priorities are. This power couple doesn't even watch TV, they don't have cable, and are big on reading. Rachel advises you to get off of Facebook and Instagram and instead set your goals and follow what's true to you. Do what you want to do and set yourself on that path. So keep these things in mind, implement them, and you might be the next millionaire in your family.
We inherited about $386,000 a year and a half ago from my grandfather when he passed away.
Because you borrowed money to create wealth.
We've only borrowed for mortgages.
And Rachel, do you remember your worst income year and your best income year?
I'm going to have to read that. I like the thesis of it already. That sounds great. The rational optimist. It fits almost with the whole discussion we're having this hour. So,
Number 2, $320,000 a month. This conversation starts off by a guy just asking if he should lease his cars or not, because the bill racks up to $3,200 per month. Even Ramsey is shocked and asks what the heck is he driving that the leases are this high. But that's not what's shocking about this. Ramsey finds out that Andrew is making $320,000 a month. He works at a digital marina company and is making bank at the young age of 24. He is a millionaire making a little more than $3 million every year. Suddenly, it all makes sense. The fact that he's leasing a $400,000 car is why the car leases are so high. Ramsey says just buy the car. He has earned it, and Ramsey is actually proud of him for being so successful at a young age. But Ramsey has some good advice to offer too. He tells him that right now he's making a hefty income but has less job security because of the fact that it is digital marketing. After all, digital marketing is highly influenced by consumer behavior and technological advancements. Shifts in consumer preferences, changes in social media algorithms, or the emergence of new digital platforms can significantly impact the demand for specific marketing skills. People who fail to adapt to these changes may find themselves with a narrower skill set, potentially reducing their job prospects. So while Andrew is making bank right now, there's no guarantee he will be making the same amount of money 10 years from now, which is why it's important to make wise decisions while you are at your peak. So, Ramsey advises him to make as much as he can, but to invest it as well so that he doesn't look back to his 20s with sadness, wondering what could have been if he had invested in the right places. Number 1, 16-year-old millionaire. In recent years, there has been a noticeable shift in the landscape of education and career opportunities, with younger people harnessing the power of the internet to showcase their intelligence and earn substantial incomes.
I don't know what all you're doing here. I've never heard of anybody doing the volume you're doing the things you described.
I am 16. I'm going on 17 in about 2 weeks now. And I live with my mother. I run 3 different websites, and they sell different merchandise.
I know what you're doing. I just never heard anybody pull this off at the volume you're pulling it off.
I do eBay or Amazon to eBay arbitrage.
So I'm not questioning your integrity. I'm believing you.
And just a bunch of various side hustles, and usually go through the internet.
But I'm just saying you're doing something pretty unusual, and so I don't know how sustainable it is long term. So you've been doing this for 4 or 5 months, 6 months.
No, it's been about 8 months.
I would not say you're going to do this 20 years because you're not. It's not going to exist in 20 years. How much is in your PayPal account?
I got a little bit over 300,000.
Too much change on the way business is done on the internet. You might have a 2-year window, you might have a 5-year window. I don't know. How do you feel about your pastor?
Very, very close.
To give me knowledge to do other things, and it'd be great to have some business acumen.
The rise of digital platforms and the accessibility of online learning have opened up avenues that were previously unimaginable. Today, many young individuals are proving that they can acquire knowledge, develop valuable skills, and generate significant income without pursuing a traditional degree. One of the best examples we have ever seen is this humble 16-year-old boy named Jake. Jake has managed to become more successful than people 4 times his age. He is making $50,000 to $80,000 a month doing dropshipping and other online e-commerce businesses. But Jake is afraid of telling his mom that he is doing this business so successfully, he feels that she will be suspicious about the business and may even try to stop him from doing it. The reason certain kids like Jake are so successful is because they are unencumbered by the traditional structures and mindsets, and embrace the potential of emerging technologies and trends. They are quick to adapt to new platforms, identify gaps in the market, and create innovative solutions. This agility and entrepreneurial spirit enable them to forge their own paths and create wealth and success in unconventional ways. But unfortunately, Jake's mother is not willing to accept these new unconventional ways, or at least he thinks she's not. Jake might very well be right. After all, a son knows his mother, and then there is the simple fact that older folk often place significant value on traditional degrees compared to other ways of earning money, as they have witnessed the advantages they can bring in terms of employment opportunities and career advancement. Parents may worry that their children's decision to forego a traditional degree in favor of online income generation could limit their prospects or hinder their ability to pursue alternative paths in the future. That's likely why Jake is worried he will have to stop, despite the fact that he has managed to earn over $300,000 in only 8 months. He hasn't told anyone in his life and is worried about how his people would react. Even Ramsey is shocked to hear he has pulled this off. Ramsey gives him some worthwhile advice and encourages him to continue working.
I have the ability to make $50,000 a month. You know, as soon as you're 18 years old, you can go do whatever you want to do, right? That when the thing does turn down, I might want to seek out an education at that point.
I honestly, I haven't told anybody. I haven't even told any of my friends.
Knowledge is valuable. Going to college is valuable. Do you have to do that to make a living? Well, crud, no, dude. I mean, you're killing it. Well, I wouldn't tell your friends. That'd be very unwise.
No, of course.
That'd be very unwise. But it's got to be someone she trusts, because if you bring in some character that she thinks is a character, she's going to think they influenced you. And you told me you don't want to go to college and you want to move out and be an entrepreneur. I would say have at it, dude.
But does say he shouldn't lie to his mom and should figure out a way out of it and find a trusted person to tell and mediate this discussion. That's all for today, folks. See you next time.